So on a positive note, I have a job. Although I'm technically homeless, and in between jobs I'm homeless. Usually the job provides a home, so that's when I sleep out my car. And I'm about to lose everything I built over 20 years. 20 years with a woman. Now, I'm not in this for sympathy. I don't need your sympathy. I don't need you feeling sorry for me. But I'm starting my new life in the Australian Outback. Not right now. I've come to the city. I was tired of Christmases at 50-degree heat in the middle of the desert. So I'm treating myself, and I've come to civilization for Christmas. And once it cools down again, I'll head back out into the desert, into the outback. So how do you start yourself or start your life over again at 50? I think attitude has a lot to do with it. Sometimes the only thing you control in life is your attitude. I remember the story I read. It was Viktor Frankl, that famous psychologist or psychiatrist that survived Auschwitz. He tells the story of a young girl captured by the Gestapo, and she shows no fear. And the Gestapo officer says to her, "You should be quivering. You should be quivering in fear. Don't you realize I control whether you live or die?" And she calmly responds to him and says, "You can control whether I live or die, but I control how I choose to accept my fate." And apparently the officer was so impressed by her words, he told his officers to return her to the ghetto, probably the Warsaw ghetto. And you hear stories like that and you think to yourself, wow, I wish I could be that strong. And who knows what we're going to be like until we're faced in that situation. Of course, we love to think we'd be brave, but whether we are brave enough or not, I'm working on my attitude. So yep, things are pretty down right now, but I have a good job. And it's the nicest job I've been in for many years. It's because it's the nicest hospital I've ever worked in. So that's a good start. And that's because of the people there. Friendliest people and most helpful people I've come across. So there you go, that's the positive. So yeah, the one thing I can control is my attitude. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to stay positive. I'm not going to have negative videos. But I want to share my journey if anyone's interested. I'm also taking a gamble on this YouTube creator journey. I never thought I'd ever go on camera. Yeah, but here I am now, on camera, giving it a go. If I fail, well, actually if I fail, that's because not many people have seen me, so doesn't matter. But you get to a point in life where you don't really care or worry about what other people think. You sort of you learn to focus on what's important. And I think hardship and going through difficult times, pain, to be honest, is sometimes the best motivator to get you to do things, change things. And someone once said to me, you sometimes grow best through pain. And that's a hard statement to accept, but when I heard that statement, I thought to myself, you know what? People willingly put their body through physical pain multiple days a week. When they go to the gym, they do it to get fitter, stronger, healthier, bigger, live longer. And it made me think, well, when it comes to the other type of pain, psychological, stress, worry, fear, I think you can grow through that as well. Not just the physical pain, but you go through that. Maybe we're meant to grow through that. I mean, in my 30 years in the health profession, often the best person at helping someone, for example, recover from alcoholism is usually an ex-alcoholic. Or drugs, usually the best person is to help others is an ex-addict. Same with gangs, who's the best person at keeping young people off the streets and out of gangs? It's usually an ex-gang member. Anyway, I digress, but the point I'm making is life's going to be difficult. I think it has to be. And we can often grow best through pain. And sometimes the only thing you can control is the attitude you have. Sometimes there's something unavoidable. I learned that from Viktor Frankl when I studied him a little bit. So I suppose you could say we always have a choice, even if it's just in the attitude we take towards life. And I'm not perfect at it. Some days I wake up and it's like, you don't feel like getting out of bed, but I think half winning the battle is even just getting out of bed sometimes. So I was rambling there a bit, but yeah, I'm going to go into the museum now, check it out, and yeah, I might take some interesting videos in there, photos. I'm curious to see what's in there. Alright, cheers.